Joy and welcome to my studio. Today we're working on the mesh tubing fireworks, and these are a lot of fun. We'll talk about if you want to hang them indoors or if you want to put them outside for a big display as well. So let's get started. When I first started thinking about the fireworks, I wanted something that was really big that could go outside. And that's how I kind of came up with this. But then I kind of liked it inside, hanging on my doors. So either way, you should be able to put them outside. The first thing I did is I took a barbecue skewer and I coated it really well. Elmer's glue, school glue, tacky glue, anything to seal it. Even your Mod Podge would work. You want it sealed, so if we spray it with the spray varnish, or excuse me, the spray paint, it won't melt. And what I mean by melting is where it kind of starts to melt. You can see how that does that. So on my ones that I did originally, I just left the ball white, so that's another option. But I want to do my sticks, color them, and the best way to do them is to actually stick them in and then go spray varnish them, because you can see the color of the sticks through mesh tubing. And we're going to be using mesh tubing, and I'm going to show you a couple of different sizes. So I use the mesh tubing. I get it on clearance after the holidays, and most of mine came from after Christmas sales, and I got it like 80 to 90% off. I even found some on clearance. Dollar Tree sometimes carries it during the holidays, so that's another thing to look at. So on the first one I want to do, I want to make one a little bit smaller. So on this one, these are just popsicle sticks, and they fit in real good here. So I'm just going to put these in, and I always start by doing 4. So I have them straight across from each other, try to get them in the center as I can of everything, so I kind of look on both sides and everything. If you want them double-sided, you can we'll do it one center. You can, so that way if you put them out into the yard, that they will be double-sided and won't show. If you're going to put them on the wall, you probably only need to do one side. But we're kind of quartering it to start out with first. And I'm going to kind of lay down 3 sticks here and see if these will all 3 fit, because you want room for the tubing as well. And if you're using popsicle sticks, make sure that the sticks go through or go into the tubing, that they're not too big. So I think we've got enough room. We'll be okay with that. Now, if you were going to do one that you wanted outside, you may leave one blank and put your dowel in that spot instead of a popsicle stick, or you could put the dowel behind it, or if you want to set it up or do it at a different angle, then you can set it anywhere in the back. So that's something to think about while you are making it. But this goes really fast, and it's lots of fun. Try to make your sticks go straight out. Try not to angle them any direction. And I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, and we'll start the next step. I am going to go ahead and spray paint him since I already have him sealed, and we could have done the sticks at this time. So I'm just going to run them out, just do my spray paint and get on the insides as well, and that should dry pretty fast. There's also mini deco tubing, and they call it the same name, but as you can see, it's a lot smaller. So I thought I would do one with this as well. So I took barbecue skewers, and Walmart has them for 88 cents, or the Dollar Tree or anything like that. You've got 100. And I cut these down to 8 inches. I wanted to make these 8 inches instead, just to have something different. I thought they were just too big. So I want to see how these turn out. I think these will really be fun as well. And so I'm going to go ahead and do this guy just like I did the other one, and spray paint him blue, definitely on this guy, because this one really shows through on the blue. So we want to make sure that we get him sprayed. And if you didn't have spray, you could paint them by hand. It's just faster. So that is totally up to you. I'm going to go ahead and cut my tubing now, and it depends on what size your stick is, and it also depends on if you want it to stick out and hang down a little bit more. And I'll tell you what I mean in a minute here. So I'm cutting these 6 inches here, and these are on tight enough. I don't think I'm going to have to put a dab of glue there. And I've hang them over about 1 inch. I can even slide down just a little bit more. But if you wanted them to hang down like the fireworks when they're exploding, just make them longer and they'll start to just fall naturally. So that's kind of up to you if you want to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and cut all of these 6 inches on this one and get them put on. So now that we've got it all put on, I'm going to use a different color of the tubing, and I am just going to hot glue it and just wrap it around. And this would be the part, if you wanted it on both sides, that you could put it on both sides. But isn't that cute? And I like the smaller one. I think that's really cute to go with the bigger ones. And if you wanted to make a wall arrangement or put them outside in the garden for your guests or things like that, that would be a lot of fun. So I am simply, like I said, just going to start gluing him all the way around until we get all the way to the middle. So we're getting all the way up in the middle here, and isn't that cool? It just really makes it that kind of 3D feeling. I'll cut this off and we'll kind of just get that center in, and you can kind of just wad that piece up if you need to a little bit and bring that in just a little bit more. You can twist that in by hand. So I measured out our little tubing, and he is about 8 inches long. So I'm going to cut a bunch about 8 inches long, and I am going to put them all on. And I may put a tad of glue, and I might use tacky glue right at the base of these because these are not on as solid as our popsicle sticks are. They're a little bit more looser. So, of course, now he's not going on as loose as the last one did, of course. It always kind of works that way, right? So I'm going to probably put just a tad right on there as I am working up. But look how much smaller and pretty that is. I've gone all the way around, and I went back and I trimmed just some edges off to make them all pretty even. Isn't that nice and pretty? You could come back and put the big tubing in the middle, but I have some white silverish kind of tubing, and I am just going to glue that all the way around until I am done. So we've gone and put that all the way around the front. Now again, if you wanted to put it outside, you can do the back as long as you have a dowel kind of coming in the middle. If you didn't want to do the back and still put it outside, you can put it at any angle. Make sure your dowel is big and doesn't wiggle though, because when you go to stick it in the ground or the weight, and it'll start to bend, so you don't want to do that. You could use some of the smaller ones like the barbecue skewers to stick and put into a centerpiece if you have something in your house that you want to put it on, or you can simply just put your hanger on and then tie it onto that. I put a string on mine and then put it in with like a nail or something solid like that. Another thing you could do would be also to glue a soda tab on if you wanted to just hang it directly onto the wall and just have it that height. So you've got quite a few options that you can really do to use this. I hope you learned a lot, learned of different ways you could do them. Just make them your own and enjoy them, and have a great 4th of July. Thank you for Miriam.